Hey everybody, this is Andy's free guitar chart videos. Got the system up today and got a little time. I got my body up too. So I'm going to do a video because the subject that I'm working on, guitar, is the dot scales and modal and major, and they've been taking up a lot of my pondering time, figuring it out. How is it? It takes me a little while to get some of the more advanced topics, and this is a more advanced topic. That's why I'm making a lesson about it. Okay, so the subject of the dots, and of course I put my notes back on the guitar here today because I always do. Not today, but the other day. And there's no guitar that I play on that I can't, put the notes on. Um, they're getting easier and easier each time. These are vinyl notes, but they were printed like 3-4 years ago, so they were just an extra copy. I threw them on. I put the dots on them with a magic marker, both for the C and the E tuning. So that's why you see like two sets of dots on here. It looks like it has the measles. But let's just talk about one dot, one note, which be like the G, the dot that's on the G. And you'll see what I mean as we go along, that it really doesn't matter what the tuning is. You just start the dot. Let's agree that the dot's on the G. So that would be, of course, the minor third that's up from the E here, like that. But if you go down another half step, you can't do this on your guitar because your guitar is tuned right here. That would be if you go to the E flat, just in your mind or looking at a piano, or you could start a G up here. It doesn't matter, and take it down 2 whole steps. You get to the E flat. Okay, and that means if you build a major scale off of the E flat, okay, that same G dot becomes the third, and that means that the dot scale is the E flat major scale. That's what I'm talking about with the dot scale. Now we're not there yet. We're not ready to play just yet. One thing is determining the dot scale. I mean, this is my own method. We're not ready to play yet. So let's look at and see if we can find on the chart and see if we can agree where we got the dot scale. Okay, up here you can see the okay, up here we can see the G dot, the fret nut, the open note, and this is the key of C, but it's also just the C shape from any note, right? But that's not the subject of this lesson. Isn't that that the cage system is versatile? It's versatile, so you could play a C here, C shape here, and you can move the whole thing up with a finger bar, and play that same C scale. Okay, that's the Phrygian scale, but it's the C. It's in the C form. Okay, it's the C. If you play that C scale from here, okay, let's go back to the C cage itself, the real deal C cage, where you have your E note is the lowest note. Okay, and if you play a E Phrygian scale following a C scale from that E, you pretty much get back into the C scale. I've dotted out my F there, and I missed it almost twice today. So obviously I'm looking at the notes, but I could play it. If we started that same E shape here, we could play the F sharp Phrygian into a D scale. Now let's get this right. Try it one more time. Right. So we had to hit the warp up there for those last two notes. We had to bring them up a half step. Same pattern, bring it up a half step. So we have the G note, okay? The dot scale for that G note, let's just, for argument's sake, go brute force. They call it brute force, but it isn't really brute force after you know it's going to work. It's not. And to appeal to you out there at home or wherever you're learning this, it's more like get your feet wet with this. It's going to work, though, trust me. So we have right here the G dot, okay? The G dot, what is the Phrygian third of? What is it the minor third of? Okay, it's the minor third of the E flat scale. Okay, so let's look over here for a minute. Here's our G dot. Okay, and here's our G note. Alright, here is our E flat. Okay, so this would be the dot scale goes horizontally in this diagram. I guess I couldn't find it on the modal, but we'll find it in a minute. The dot scale goes horizontally, so G would be the Phrygian third of E flat. Alright, so it's E flat, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Which means if we could build a major scale off of each of these scales in the dot scale. Now we have the dot scale. It's the E flat scale. Or down here. If we build a major scale off of every one of those dot scales with that G dot, we can do that. Okay? Now the other way to do it, and we can actually it becomes a different scale member of those major scales. So let's just try one. Let's just say the third. So that's an E flat. So I happen to have an E flat, a G-shaped E flat down here. So it would be like that. That would be the that would be the Aeolian of E flat. So it would be okay. That would be my Aeolian, and up there at the G dot here, that would be the Phrygian of that scale. So we would play the C shaped scale there.